In 1990, a 15-year-old girl disappeared on her way to the library. No body, no trace, just gone. 22 years later, her grieving father finds a message in her school yearbook. 6 handwritten words that will unravel a truth more disturbing than anyone imagined. He flips the page, his breath catches. Scrawled beneath her photo, "Ask Mr. Dalton what he knows." Everything stops. The day Emily disappeared. It was July 3rd, 1990, the kind of summer day where the air was thick with heat and innocence. Emily Carter, 15, had just finished 10th grade. She was smart, introspective, always scribbling poems in her notebook. That afternoon, she told her mother she was heading to the local library. Just a 15-minute walk through the wooded trail that curved behind the park. She never came back. At first, her mother thought Emily might have run into friends. But when dinner time came and the sun dipped low behind the trees, panic set in. By 9 p.m., the search began. Dozens of neighbors and search team officers combed through the woods. Flashlights pierced the darkness. Her name echoed into the silence. But they found nothing. No signs of a struggle. No footprints. No screams. Emily Carter had simply vanished. The cold case that never left. Days turned to weeks. Tips slowed. Leads dried up. No ransom call, no suspects, no body. Just a name etched on missing posters, fading with time. But Roger Carter, her father, never stopped. He wallpapered their home with timelines, maps, and photos. Each year, he walked the trail she took, praying for something to rise out of the leaves, out of the ground, out of silence. His marriage unraveled under the weight of sorrow. Friends stopped visiting, but Roger refused to let go. "Until I know," he would whisper. "Until I know where she is." A message in the margins. It was late autumn in 2012, nearly 22 years to the day she vanished. Roger, now gray and gaunt, was clearing the attic when he stumbled on a box. Inside, Emily's school notebooks, birthday cards, and her sophomore yearbook. He hadn't opened it since the search team first asked for her belongings. He hesitated, then turned the pages. There she was, Emily, smiling in a group photo, surrounded by classmates who'd all moved on with their lives. He read the handwritten notes in the margins, innocent scribbles from classmates. But then, scrawled in tiny, slanted handwriting beneath the photo of her English class, something jolted him upright. "Ask Mr. Dalton what he knows." The ink was faded, but unmistakable. Roger stared at it. His heart raced. Mr. Dalton? Her English teacher? Why hadn't anyone seen this? Who wrote it? And what did he know? A teacher's long-held secret. The next morning, Roger called the school district. After some digging, he found a contact. Mr. Dalton, retired, now living in a quiet home just 40 minutes away. Roger drove there, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Mr. Dalton answered the door. Older, thinner, hollow-eyed. "I'm Roger Carter," he said, Emily's father. A pause. Then a flicker of something unreadable in Dalton's expression. They sat down inside the old teacher's living room. The walls were lined with books, dust hung in the air like ghosts. Roger pulled the yearbook from his bag. "I found this." Dalton's hands trembled as he turned the page. When he saw the note, he closed the book and looked away. "She came to me," he said after a moment, 2 weeks before she disappeared. Roger leaned forward. "She told me she was scared. Said someone was watching her. She thought it was just her imagination. But then she saw the man twice, once behind the library, once parked outside school. He drove an old gray truck." "Why didn't you report this?" "I did," Dalton whispered. "I called the search team. Left a message. No one followed up. Then she disappeared." Roger sat there, numb. 22 years of silence, and this had never come out. "Why didn't you come forward again?" Dalton looked up, his voice shaking. "Because I was afraid no one would believe me, and because I was a coward." The trail reopened. Armed with this revelation, Roger went to the search team once more. The new lead detective, Rachel Nguyen, was younger, meticulous, and determined. She listened to everything. Dalton's testimony. The yearbook note. The description of the man and the truck. A week later, Rachel found something. In 1990, a man named Warren Keel worked part-time as a school maintenance contractor. He drove an old gray Dodge pickup. Lived just blocks from the trail behind the library. He had one prior arrest in 1984 for unlawful surveillance of a teenager, but the charges were dropped. No one had ever questioned him in Emily's case. Why? Because he died of a heart attack in 1999. What the woods revealed. A new search was launched near the path Emily always walked. The area had been overgrown for decades, but cadaver dogs were brought in. After 4 days beneath a twisted tree root and layers of soil, they found it. A faded blue backpack, torn at the strap, inside moldy notebooks and a partial journal. It was Emily's. The last few entries were heartbreaking. Saw the truck again. He's not a student. I don't think he even belongs here. Should I tell someone? Would they believe me? I think he's waiting. I'm scared to walk home now. And one final scribbled line. If something happens to me, tell my dad I love him. Roger dropped the notebook to the floor. He wept for what he lost and for how long her voice had gone unheard. The unanswered questions. Authorities concluded that Emily had likely been abducted by Warren Keel, who had stalked her for weeks. Without a body, there was no prosecution, but the journal and Dalton's testimony confirmed foul play. To the world, the case was finally closed. But for Roger, it would never truly be over. He buried the yearbook in a time capsule beneath her favorite tree. On the box, he etched just one sentence: I never stopped looking. Emily's story is more than just a mystery. It's a powerful lesson about the importance of listening, observing, and believing those quiet voices around us. Every day, people express fear in subtle ways. They hint. They drop clues. They say things softly, unsure if anyone will care enough to hear. Emily did the same. She told someone. She wrote it down. But no one acted in time. This teaches us the critical importance of vigilance, not just from authorities, but from all of us. Parents, teachers, friends. We must learn to lean in when someone pulls away, to ask twice when they say, I'm fine, to investigate the tiny clues, a repeated fear, a strange drawing, a sudden change in routine. It also reminds us that no case is truly cold if there is love, memory, and determination behind it. Roger's relentless search brought light to what was buried for decades. Even after 22 years, one scribbled line in a forgotten book brought justice closer to truth. And finally, it's a call to preserve records. Yearbooks, journals, letters, things we often see as nostalgic clutter, can be lifelines. In this case, it wasn't DNA or surveillance footage that led to answers. It was ink on a page, saved by a grieving father who never gave up. If you or someone you know feels unsafe, speak up. Tell someone. And if you're the one who hears that message, believe them. Because sometimes the smallest whisper is the loudest cry for help. This isn't just a tragic story. It's a warning, a lesson, a call. Listen to warnings, even when they sound small. Emily spoke up and was ignored. Every detail matters. One scribbled sentence led to a cold case breakthrough. Don't assume time erases truth, because sometimes it takes 22 years for a whisper to become a scream. The power of relentless love. Roger's story proves love is louder than silence, and truth can survive the grave. So next time someone says, I feel like I'm being watched, don't laugh. Don't dismiss it. Lean in, listen, believe, because you might just be the difference between a name in a yearbook and a name remembered forever.